You ever notice how the people who claim they found God always find him in the same place, right where they were looking for him? Like a mirror with better lighting. God's been mankind's favorite side hustle since we figured out how to stand upright. Before stock markets, before ads, before crypto, we had religion. The first invisible product with unlimited supply and infinite demand. You don't need to produce anything, you don't need to ship anything, and your customers can't even ask for a refund. It's the perfect business. You sell reassurance, guilt management, and eternal life, all payable weekly. People talk about divine love, but let's be honest, God's been a financial consultant for thousands of years. Every temple, every church, every mosque, real estate for the Almighty. Holy property, and they never have a for rent sign out front, do they? Because business is booming. It's always booming. No matter how bad the economy gets, God's cash flow never slows down. You can't repossess salvation. The whole setup's brilliant. Imagine inventing a being who can't be seen, touched, or audited, and then saying, he needs your money. That's not faith, that's marketing. The slogan writes itself, believe now, benefit later. And people line up. Whole civilizations built around a celestial bank account. Deposit your prayers, withdraw forgiveness. It's a spiritual ATM. But the machine only takes, never gives. Think about it. People walk into a building, hand over part of their paycheck and feel good about it because someone told them God appreciates the gesture. God apparently has a soft spot for direct deposits. He doesn't want your time, your honesty, your kindness. No, he wants 10% before taxes. The divine accountant's always watching. You mess up your teeth, he might just test your faith with a flat tire or an eviction notice. And the folks running the operation, oh, they've got it down to a science. They've got uniforms, ranks, titles, and tax exemptions. You know it's serious business when you don't have to pay taxes. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, they say, but they keep everything that isn't nailed down. Every religion's got a finance department. It just hides behind stained glass. They call it donations, but you'd be amazed how mandatory generosity can feel when someone's promising eternal punishment. That's the genius of the whole system, fear-based loyalty with a smile. You don't need receipts, you just need guilt. Make people feel small enough, scared enough, and they'll open their wallets. Give or the universe might smite you. And you know what? People do it. They give, they pray, they feel lighter. Not spiritually, but financially. It's emotional blackmail wrapped in incense. And the ones running the show, oh, they're professionals. They sell hope wholesale and repentance retail. They've got merchandise, music, and live events. You ever see those mega churches? The sound systems could rival rock concerts. The preachers don't just talk to God. They've got a full production team and lighting cues. And on the 7th day, we sold out the arena. It's divine theater with a covered charge. You ever notice how the higher the ceiling, the bigger the guilt trip? Cathedrals built so tall you have to look up to feel small. Architecture designed to make you feel like you're nothing. Just a customer under a very big chandelier. And somewhere up there above the gold, marble, and smoke machines sits an invisible being apparently obsessed with how often you attend. The irony's perfect. People worship a God who created the universe, billions of galaxies, stars, planets, but apparently can't balance his own budget without your weekly offering. Omnipotent, omniscient, but somehow broke. Needs your help keeping the lights on in the choir loft. You'd think the creator of all existence would have passive income by now. And the slogans, given you shall receive. Yeah, they never tell you what you'll receive. Could be peace, could be parking tickets. It's like the divine version of a subscription box. You pay up and hope it's not socks again. Religion's been selling mystery for centuries, and people love it because mystery can't be disproven. You can't fact-check eternity. You got to admire the business model, unlimited membership, no cancellations, guilt-powered marketing. Every product promises salvation, and no one's ever come back to complain. Heaven or your money back, but who's going to test it? Nobody. You die, game over. Perfect guarantee. The only industry safer than religion is the funeral business. And they work together. One sells fear of death, the other cashes in when it happens. It's funny. People think they're giving money to God, but it always stops at the guy with the microphone. The divine accountant never signs the checks. And when things go wrong, war, famine, disease, they say God works in mysterious ways. Of course, that's the legal clause that protects the brand. You can't sue mystery. You can't question it. It's all part of his plan. Great plan. Keeps the donations coming while nobody gets refunds. And have you noticed how every religion's God always agrees with the people collecting the money?
That's convenient.
God told me we need a new roof. Yeah, I bet he did. I'm sure the creator of galaxies is deeply concerned about your leaky sanctuary in Ohio. God wants me to upgrade my jet, sure. Apparently the Almighty doesn't fly commercial. Divine inspiration comes with jet fuel and catering. You gotta love how they sell guilt in one hand and forgiveness in the other. They wound you, then offer the cure at full price. You're a sinner, but lucky for you, we've got the package deal prayer, confession, and premium access to salvation. It's the oldest upsell in history. Humanity invented religion the moment we realized fear could be profitable. And oh, people love to think they're buying something eternal. I'm investing in my soul. No, you're buying emotional insurance because deep down everyone's scared. Nobody wants to think the lights just go out. So they pay for comfort like a subscription to the afterlife. Monthly peace of mind, auto-renewed until further notice. It's not even about belief anymore. It's about belonging. The social side of faith, the branding. We're the chosen ones. Every religion's a club with a dress code, a logo, and an exclusive heaven. Some offer eternal joy. Others just promise you won't burn. Either way, they're selling the same thing, hope with fine print. And the fine print's always the same. Follow the rules, obey the authority, pay your dues. That's the holy trinity of control. Fear, obedience, and taithing. The invisible hand of God holding your wallet. And somehow everyone's okay with it because it feels good, it feels righteous. Nobody wants to think they're being scammed by their own sue. You ever notice how religion is the one excuse that never goes out of style, no matter how advanced the world gets, no matter how many rockets we shoot into space or how many AI tools we invent. Someone somewhere is still saying, that's what God wanted? It's the original get out of thinking free card. Anything happens, anything at all, and religion's got an answer that doesn't actually answer anything. It's God's will. Plane crashes. God's will. Baby dies. God's plan. The same guy who supposedly created the stars and galaxies can't manage to keep a toddler from swallowing a Lego. But don't worry, he's got a plan. Always a plan. Never a good one, but a plan. Religion's the best PR move humanity ever made for itself. It's how we turned our ignorance into something holy. You don't know why lightning strikes. God's angry. You don't understand disease. God's testing you. You can't explain earthquakes, volcanoes, plagues. Must be divine punishment. The human brain can't stand not knowing things, so we made up a story, called it sacred, and stopped asking questions. Brilliant, because once you say, God did it, nobody's allowed to ask how. It's the oldest cover up in the book, literally the book. You can justify anything if you attach God's name to it. You can invade countries, burn people alive, silence science, enslave others, destroy cultures, all under the logo of heaven, slap God's work on the box, and suddenly mass murder is divine service. You can't get away with that under any other brand. You kill for oil, you're a war criminal. You kill for God, you're a prophet. And people love that kind of power. Religion's the only system where you can do something horrible and feel righteous about it. We're cleansing the unbelievers. That's just ancient marketing speak for we're taking their land. Religion turned greed into virtue. The Crusades, the Inquisitions, the witch hunts, all just sales campaigns with better costumes. Convert or die, history's most effective slogan. They should have trademarked it. The problem is it works because people want it to. It's comforting. It's easier to blame invisible forces than to admit your own failures. You don't have to fix yourself when you can say, the devil made me do it. You don't have to change society when you can say, this world's fallen. Religion turned responsibility into a spectator sport. Sit back, pray, and hope the scoreboard in heaven flips in your favor. You ever notice how religion always finds a way to take credit when things go right and avoid blame when things go wrong? If you win the lottery, God blessed me. If you lose your job, he's testing my faith. What a scam. It's the only system where heads they win, tails you lose, and somehow you still keep playing. You never hear someone say, well, maybe God's just incompetent. No, that would make too much sense. And it's not just individuals. Whole nations use this trick. Governments go to war, God's name, like he's sitting up there keeping score. Looks like the blue team's praying harder today. Give him the oil fields. Every side claims divine backing. You'd think after a few thousand years of holy wars, somebody would have noticed God can't seem to pick a favorite. He's like that parent at the soccer game, pretending both kids are doing great while the world's on fire. Religion's the only excuse that covers every contradiction. You can preach love while building bombs. You can worship peace while funding violence. You can quote scripture about forgiveness while screaming damnation, and it's all perfectly acceptable because the guy upstairs said so. Nobody ever stops to ask how an all-loving being keeps endorsing genocide. He works in mysterious ways. Yeah, that's lawyer talk for don't ask questions. And what's amazing is we've upgraded everything except that logic. We've got self-driving cars, quantum computers, artificial intelligence, and still people kneeling on the floor talking to the ceiling, begging for miracles while holding a smartphone more powerful than NASA's computers from the moon landing. We can literally manipulate DNA, but folks still think rain is a heavenly mood swing. We're a species that split the atom, but can't split from superstition. You know what religion really sells? Permission to stop thinking, to stop questioning, to stop evolving. It gives people a script so they don't have to write their own moral code. It says here in the book, I can hate these people, judge those people, ignore those people, and feel good doing it. The book does all the thinking, And they call it faith, and people love that. Thinking's hard. Faith is easy. It's the original autopilot. And of course, every religion insists theirs is the truth, the ultimate one-size-fits-all, divinely approved truth. 7 billion people on earth, hundreds of faiths, and somehow every single one claims exclusive access to the cosmic customer service line. Press 1 for salvation. Press 2 for eternal damnation. The arrogance is breathtaking. We're the chosen ones. Yeah, every religion says that. You'd think God would at least send out a memo clarifying who actually made the cut. And don't get me started on holy wars, which is like fighting over who has the better imaginary friend. Millions dead because someone's version of God had a better outfit. Our God wears white robes. Yours wears black. Time to die. Humans are the only creatures who can turn invisible beings into territorial disputes. Lions fight for land, humans fight for beliefs. One kills for food, the other kills for approval. Guess which one calls itself civilized? Religion's also humanity's favorite guilt trip. You're born already guilty! Original sin. You haven't even opened your eyes, and apparently you've offended the creator of the universe. Nice welcome package, and then they tell you your only way out is obedience, lifelong obedience. Follow the rules, give the money, confess your thoughts. It's like a cosmic subscription service. You're paying for forgiveness you didn't even ask for. And somehow people feel good about it. They love being told they're unworthy. There's comfort in submission. That's the trick. It feeds the ego by crushing it. I'm nothing without God. Well, congratulations, you just outsourced your self-worth. You're not humble, you're hypnotized, because if you can convince people they're broken, you can sell them salvation forever. It's the oldest business model there is. What's wild is how religion's rules always seem to line up perfectly with the power structures of the time. Funny coincidence, huh? When men ran everything, God said women should obey. When kings ruled, God loved monarchies. When slavery existed, God didn't mind. He's apparently very flexible with morality, as long as the priests are in charge. It's not divine revelation, it's divine justification. A holy stamp of approval for whatever system keeps the powerful comfortable. And yet, even with all that history, people still defend it. It gives people hope. Hope in what? That someone else will fix everything. Hope's not bad, but blind hope. That's how you get stuck. That's how you get people praying for peace instead of building it. Religion teaches patience when it should be teaching action. God will handle it. Yeah, he's been handling it for millennia. Look around. Maybe it's time we handled it. Religion's like a software update nobody questions. Every few centuries they tweak it, modernize it, rebrand it, but the core code's the same. Control through belief. Believe first, ask later. The most dangerous sentence in human history is, I'm doing this because God told me to. You can justify anything that way. Murder, oppression, stupidity, all wrapped in holiness. You can't reason with someone who thinks questioning them means questioning God. That's the danger. Once you make your ideas sacred, you make them untouchable. And untouchable ideas lead to untouchable people, priests, preachers, imams, rabbis, gurus, each claiming to be the exclusive dealer of truth. And you better believe they protect that territory. You try challenging them, suddenly you're a heretic. They've burned people alive for less, all in the name of love. You ever notice how God's messages always need a middleman? You never get the divine email directly. You have to hear it from someone wearing robes, collecting donations, and quoting a book written thousands of years ago by guys who thought lightning was magic. God spoke to me. Oh, really? Funny how he never calls collect. It's always through someone with a vested interest in being the messenger. You ever notice how every religion's got a rewards program? You do the right stuff, follow the rules, say the magic words, and boom, eternal paradise, heaven, the VIP section of the afterlife, and if you screw up, well, there's a basement suite waiting for you called hell. It's amazing how we turned cosmic existence into a loyalty program. God's got a point system. Sin too much, lose your miles. Pray enough, maybe you'll get upgraded to first class on Judgment Day. It's the perfect scam. Motivate behavior with promises nobody can verify and punishments nobody can confirm. It's moral management through imagination. The concept's genius when you think about it. Keep the population in check by dangling eternity in front of them. It's like telling a kid Santa's watching. Only now Santa's omnipotent and you'll burn forever if you don't behave. You don't need police when people are terrified of invisible consequences. Heaven and hell are the oldest form of surveillance, the original 24-hour moral camera system. Smile. You're on divine candid camera. You can't even think a bad thought without feeling like someone's taking notes. Oh, you looked at her legs. That's one strike, buddy. And of course, the details always change depending on who's selling it. Some heavens have golden gates and harps, others have 72 virgins. Some hells of fire, others have paperwork. But they all serve the same purpose, to control behavior through fear and fantasy. You can't build a utopia when people are thinking for themselves, so you build a celestial one instead. Convince them this life is just a test, and suddenly they stop demanding a better one. That's the real trick. Keep people dreaming about the next world so they don't fix this one. It's a psychological masterpiece. Tell people that suffering now earns rewards later, and you can get away with anything. Starving, oppressed, sick. Don't worry, there's a mansion waiting for you in heaven. What a deal! It's the same as telling factory workers, we can't afford raises now, but there's a promotion in the sky. Keeps everyone quiet, obedient, and conveniently patient while the rich build their own paradise on earth. And the best part, nobody can check. You can't review heaven on Yelp. No one comes back to file a complaint. 5 stars, amazing clouds, great harp music, but the wings were itchy. No, you die, and that's it. Game over. The only people who know what happens after death are the ones still alive and taking donations. It's the perfect closed system. No refunds, no evidence, no accountability. And hell, oh, that's where religion really shows its teeth. Eternal torture for finite mistakes. Infinite punishment for being human. You told a lie, had some fun, skipped church, and now you're barbecue forever. That's not justice. That's sadism. The idea of hell was invented by people who couldn't handle the thought that bad things might go unpunished, so they made up a cosmic torture chamber to make themselves feel better. They'll get what's coming to him for eternity. That's the spiritual version of road rage. It's funny how hell's always got way more imagination than heaven. Heaven sounds boring. You'll sing hymns, bask in the light of God, and feel joy forever. Forever. You ever try feeling one emotion for 5 minutes? Imagine eternal happiness. You'd go insane. But hell, that's where the creativity shines. Fire, screams, demons, torture. Somebody really enjoyed designing that brochure. The artists of hell put in overtime. You can tell who had more fun writing the script. And notice how everyone's version of hell is designed for other people. Nobody pictures themselves there. It's always the sinners, the infidels, the non-believers. Everyone's the hero of their own afterlife story. Oh, I'm going to heaven, they're going to hell. The arrogance of it. People talk about eternal judgment like they've already read the verdict. Like God's going to high-five them on the way in. It's tribalism dressed up as theology. And it's always convenient who ends up in hell, isn't it? People who sin differently. People who question authority. People who love the wrong way, believe the wrong thing, live the wrong life. Funny how God's eternal wrath always lines up with human prejudice. The list of sinners changes with the century, but the message stays the same. Obey us or burn forever. Religion outsourced morality to fear because fear is reliable. You don't have to inspire people when you can terrify them. And what a fear! The ultimate one, eternal pain. Not just death, not just suffering, but forever. The word itself was designed to make your stomach drop. You can threaten someone with jail, they might gamble it. You threaten them with forever, they'll fold. Forever's unbeatable. You can't picture it. Try counting to infinity. You'd die of boredom long before the fire got to you. That's why it works so well. Heaven and hell weaponize time itself. The one thing humans can't fully comprehend becomes the currency of control. You promise them endless bliss or endless pain, and you own their behavior. You've created the ultimate insurance policy. You don't even have to enforce it. They'll enforce it on themselves. Every guilty thought, every moral slip, they'll correct it out of fear. You can't buy that kind of obedience. You can only believe it. And of course, people defend it. But we need heaven and hell. Otherwise, people do whatever they want. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. You mean to tell me the only reason you're not murdering your neighbor is because you're scared of divine punishment? That's not morality, that's cowardice. If the threat of hell is the only thing keeping society together, we're in worse shape than I thought. You don't need eternal fire to know right from wrong. You just need empathy. But empathy doesn't fill collection plates. Fear does. Fear's the best currency ever invented, and heaven and hell are the mint. You can trade it, invest it, manipulate it. Entire institutions built on it. Fear of death, fear of judgment, fear of missing out on eternal happiness. Hell is the stick, heaven's the carrot, and humanity's been running on that treadmill for thousands of years. And what do we have to show for it? Wars, guilt, division, and a moral compass that points to wherever the nearest pulpit stands. People killing each other over who's got the right map to paradise. Nobody's been there. But they'll swear their directions are the only correct ones. Turn left at the Golden Gate, ignore the Buddhists. They're lost. It's absurd. We're fighting over travel brochures for a destination that doesn't even have an address. And it's not just individuals. Entire cultures are built on this cosmic reward system. Governments swear oaths on holy books, judges say, so help me God, and soldiers march under the promise of eternal glory. Die for the cause, and heaven awaits. It's not patriotism, it's celestial propaganda. Every empire, every power structure has used heaven to recruit and hell to discipline. It's the oldest carrot and stick routine in the book, and humanity's still biting. You ever wonder why the people who preach heaven the loudest seem the most terrified of hell? It's like they're trying to convince themselves. They talk about peace and salvation, but you can see it in their eyes. They're scared. They've bet everything on an afterlife no one's seen, and deep down they know it. That's why they get so defensive. If one person stops believing, the whole illusion trembles.